2, 1. Okay, when you're working on some of the applications of the definite integral, it's going to be easier for you to use a calculator to do the actual calculus part of this. So what I'm going to show you is how to use the TI83, this also works for the 84, to calculate a definite integral. Alright, so basically what you need is in the math menu. Alright, so if I pull up the math menu and I tab down, I think it's number 9. Alright, there's number 9, FNINT, that's function integral. Pull that up on the screen. Now I have to give it my function, so let's give it something like, I don't know, 2x. Alright, so if I use 2x as my function, I then have to tell it what the variable is. So I tell it the variable is x, comma x, and then I have to give it the bound. So let's go from 1, nope, not 1x, 1 comma 3. Alright, that's the structure of the function. Alright, the function itself, your variable, your lower bound, your upper bound. Then I hit enter and it thinks a little bit and it pops out 8, and that is indeed the definite integral of y equals 2x from 1 to 3. Right? So that's one way to do it. When your function's relatively simple, I also happen to know without looking at a graph that 2x is positive over the interval from 1 to 3. If I don't know that the function is positive on the interval that I want to work at, I might want to graph the function first. Alright, so I have one in here. Alright, I put a parabola in here. Alright, 2x squared plus 4x minus 3 in for y1. And when I graph that, notice that this dips below. So depending on what my interval is, I might need to split up my integral. So if I wanted to go from, this side over to this side, I would have to split that up into parts. If I was just working on the positive side, I'd be fine. But the point that I wanted to get to here was, if I have a complicated function that I need to type in order to graph first, I can then use my function variable rather than this, having to type this over again into my command. So I know I have that in for y1. Alright, so another way, let me quit out of that. Alright, so another way to pull up this information, again, I still need to go into math, and I still need to go to number 9. Alright, but this time, instead of retyping that whole function again, since I have it typed in there already, come over here to variables, move over to y variables, and then I have this typed in as a function variable, so I just hit enter, and then it's in y1, so I pull in y1. So now that particular function is now pulled in without my having to retype the whole thing. Alright, so now I'm going to stick to the positive side. Alright, so if I want to use the same bounds, I still have to tell it that the variable is x. And I'm still going to go from 1 to 3 because I could see from the graph that the function was positive there. Alright, and it thinks, and it pulls up the definite integral of 27 1/3. Alright, so this will hopefully save me a little bit of time in class. You now know how to do this using the calculator.